Welcome back to the CounterStrike Casuals podcast. It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks now. We've been, what have we been doing? You've been away. You've been.
I've been away, yeah.
That's your fault for once, not my fault. Where have you been? Tell the world.
Been down under. Been in Ausland.
Ah,
Uh, yeah, I'm still getting over the jet lag. I mean, it's what 8:30 now, and I'm shattered.
yeah.
It
Which is,
feels like 3 in the morning for me.
which is unlike you, to be fair. You've got the energy to keep going.
Yeah, I think I've just been. Not been back in work yet, so I'm just kind of letting the. I've just been sleeping whenever I feel like sleeping. I've just been sleeping, so I've been going to sleep really early and getting up at stupid times. So
You've been living that student real gamer life, mate. That's the way to do it.
yeah,
No real actual time rhythm or anything. Fair play. Was it a good time though?
yeah, it was really good, mate. Yeah, as you know, I was there for my brother's wedding, and it was really good. Yeah, caught up with some old friends and had a great time at his wedding. Met all his friends and extended family now, I guess. So it was good.
Congratulations. Yeah, very good. Definitely wouldn't go to Australia for a wedding if it wasn't like immediate relative.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long way to go.
Long for a wedding.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, I tell you what. There's some stuff to discuss which I want to get really cracking on. So let's run the intro and then we'll get into
Do
it.
it.
We're sat at practice. I didn't even transition the the intro page. So it's just gonna be us sat there through the theme song. There you go. Was it like 2 weeks we've missed, and that's what happens. The world falls apart.
I was waiting for it. Yeah, 2 weeks off. Now you're slacking.
Well, but to be honest, it's episode 70. That's all it would have said. So there you go. Episode 70. Let's begin. Okay, we've got to address the elephant in the room, or the Minotaur in the room. Should we call it? Yeah. So, as you may or may not know, we interviewed Sam Cook, who was CEO of Into the Breach. When was that? I actually had that on my mind to check before we did this, and now here I am checking. I was like, I'll make sure I know when it was. I'll be super quick. 4 months ago. So 4 months ago, we interviewed Sam Cook, CEO of Into the Breach. Where we were like genuinely, for a small podcast like this and for two amateur casual people like us, it was like a really big grab. It was like something we were really excited, weren't we, to get him on? I think I was, definitely. We asked him, again, I feel unbiased, some really good questions, and we tried to dig as deep as possible on what it's really like day-to-day running an organization that has multiple teams in esports. Obviously the CounterStrike team, dealing with the business side of things. I don't know, we spoke about everything. We got the download on players. Hey, and also, I tell you what, before the podcast started, yeah, he said that, I tell you, I can just do this now, right? Because this guy's got no leg to stand on. As soon as we started this, as soon as he got onto our Discord, before we hit record, he just starts, this Sam Cook just instantly launches into an attack. I'd call it a verbal attack on Boros. And he's just like, Boros is a fucking dickhead, basically. And we're like, oh, you're right. I'm Diz. This is brilliant. And he's like, Boros basically made loads of money. He would just like not turn up for, what did he say? He said something like didn't turn up for training, or would laugh when they were losing. Didn't care about anything. Just like, Boris is just some rich geezer who just does not give a fuck about CounterStrike, and like had the worst attitude known to man, which I think, you know, everyone kind of knew, but it was interesting from a CEO of an organization that actually had him in the team. He was like, yeah, he's dirt. He's so bad. And then do you know what? We should have known, because in the actual podcast then he was very political and, you know, on the bench about Boris, and he's like, yeah, I hope he gets another team, which I guess you would be, but it was interesting that the reality and then actually what he said in the podcast were completely different, which now that things have come to light, we should not be surprised about. And if you've been living under a rock, It's the news that person, Sam Cook, Slay the Minotaur was his name, which was the joke that I made, obviously. He'd basically been stealing money from Into the Breach or embezzling funds. I don't actually really know embezzled funds, and I guess we should be careful with our wording. I don't know. No one's going to come for us. Who cares? But basically, he stole 600 grand and just went on an absolute bender. He just went on like a Charlie Sheen-esque bender of benders.
Was this over a period of time? This money he'd taken.
I believe so. I don't know exactly. I just going off like the HLTV and his tweets. It doesn't go into like loads of detail about specifically, but it must have been over a series of time because the players have come out and said they didn't get paid. Even like that Rollin guy who was there ages ago said, you know, you withheld money from us. Although he was like, Sam refuted that actually, I believe, and said we actually did pay you guys, but.
I think Sam said that he'd paid them. He paid all the guys that were on the squad when they reached the major. They all got their money, and then Rallen came out and said, "No, you didn't actually."
Okay, right. Well, Smooya came out and said that he owes like 500 grand to various players and managers, etc.
That in the article it said that he owed over 500 grand to players.
Right. Smooya also said
that
they were.
Said that.
Well, Smooya also said that they were spending money on like loads of designer clothes and like food deliverers and just like, man, these guys are just living it up. I mean, I don't know. I guess the surprise for me is he came across so switched on and so like in the know and like a real businessman, didn't he? He came across so well to us to the point where you're thinking Into the Breach are really in safe hands. Like these guys are, even if they're not battling at the top with the best team they've got at the moment.
He said this in the article. He seemed like he really cared about the players and he cared about people getting their money basically and people getting paid. And it said in the article something along the lines of he had like two alter egos. If you were, one was he'd really care about the players and you know he'd want to, not just the players but all the staff, and one where he just would go on a bender and get drunk and spend all the money, which a lot of people have these traits where you know these addictions, and whether it's gambling or alcoholism or anything, kind of make people do stupid things. So yeah, he seemed like he wanted to be a good person, but yeah.
I've completely forgot. I'm so out of the loop with recording a podcast. I was just started looking on my Discord to see when he was last online because I've got him on Discord and I just realised it shows it's going to have captured that on there. Anyway, whatever. Who cares, man? This guy deserves to give us as many clicks as possible and views as possible. But yeah, you're right. He said himself he's got like two personas, and mate, we saw that persona of esports organizer, CEO, and like person that really did know what they were doing. But in short, in his own words, he's a destructive, alcoholic narcissist.
He sounds like he's held his hands up and he's come out and admitted a lot of his wrongdoings. Is that right?
It sounds like they were gonna out him anyway, probably, right?
Yeah.
They're probably just gonna go, this guy's done this, so he's like, I best do it. I mean, I don't know if you can really give him much.
I've not been reading his tweets. I've literally just read this HLTV article.
Mate, geezer just on one. I mean, to be fair, when he recorded with us, where he looked like he was living looked lovely. Nice. It looked like a house or a...
Yeah, he seemed like he was from like a well-to-do family anyway. He was fairly well-spoken, and he seems, like you say, he seemed quite switched on. He seemed like a fairly nice guy to me, and I'm really the wrong person to speak to. I don't know enough details about this to start like throwing shade at the guy, to be honest. But it sounds like he's. I mean, if people haven't got paid, then he's a cunt. Because
yeah, that's it.
First things first. If you've got staff, they need paying.
I think so, and it's like, do you know what? It's a shame because it's like, why? Into the Breach felt like one thing that like the UK CS scene had as a bit of like a bit of hope of like an actual name on the forefront of tier 1 CS or tier 1.5 2 CS, and that's gone now. It's like that was short lived. And you know, like Smooya's now, like what's Smooya gonna do? He's probably disengaged from competitive play again. He's probably just gonna go back to streaming, which is such a shame because he should definitely. We always say this and we back him highly. And even when he was at playing in Into Breach, mate, the geezer was playing so well. Like he deserves to be at a top team. And do you know what as well? When you look back, these things always make sense, don't they? And like remember when because Juan Flatro came out and was just like, you know, I'm taking a bit of a break from this for personal reasons or that, and then he immediately joins a new team recently. It wasn't that long ago, so it's all clearly down to that. All the not getting paid probably. And
well, I wonder whether he got shade of this coming out because it wasn't long before this got released when he left, right?
yeah. So what do we want to say about it? We want to say that, you know, we had the wool pulled over our eyes as much as the actual organisation, owners and the sponsors and the players, I guess, which is pretty mad, yeah, to be...
Staff in general, yeah.
Yeah. And I hope everyone gets paid and unfortunately he's going to get what comes to him, which he deserves, so RIP. Let's move on. Unless you've got anything else you want to add.
No, just like you were saying before, it's a bit of shit on British CounterStrike in general, but
yes.
he wasn't a CounterStrike guy anyway. That kind of shows his integrity. He's almost just business minded, and that's all it was about at the end of the day. Whereas I should hope with some of these other organizations and teams that they actually have the games that they're playing at heart and care about at least the game or the players or something. It's not just all about business orientated, which it goes back to kind of what I was saying the other week about, I think it was on the topic of Falcons, about people just throwing money at things, which, you know, can work, but I always prefer it when people have a keen interest in this the sport or the game or whatever that they're playing.
Yeah, I agree completely. I had another point I wanted to say about it. It's completely gone. It was regarding that's it as well. When he came on the podcast as well, he spoke about the corruption and the issues of like tier 2 CounterStrike, didn't he? It's so ironic.
Yeah,
he was talking about that, and it's just like you're basically doing it to your own guys. Insane.
Yeah, he said one thing he did say was Smooya once paying, and he that's like his only thing, and he was said that, and it's fair enough.
Mate, too right now. I mean,
which is a weird thing to bring up because the only time a staff member would mention getting paid is if they hadn't been paid on time, which
yeah, or had a feeling they wouldn't. They've had a feeling it was going to be hard work to get paid. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Been playing some CounterStrike whilst you're away. The season 2 of Premier came out. With that, it came the new updates. They reduced the price of the FAMAS. They improved some of its crouch control. They removed the price. They lowered the price to match the M4S of the M4A. Any initial thoughts? I assume you've not had a chance to play because you've been away, but you've been playing, haven't you? Yeah, sorry, because you've not been working. Yeah, you have been actually just a student. And
yeah, it's pretty much, yeah.
And how does it feel, the new patch? Any different or not at all?
No, mate. I mean, I would say people are using the FAMAS a little bit more, probably because it's cheaper. The A4, people using it more. I've not played loads, but I would say people are using it a little bit more, to be fair. I did give it another go and just can't get used to it. Like, it just doesn't feel nice. AK feels nice, the M4S feels nice. The A4 just doesn't.
I'm with you. There's something about a silencer, though, I find in games that...
Oh, yeah.
Because Even on COD, I used to. This is sounds so weird, but back in the real COD days, like proper old school COD, like Modern Warfare original, I used to put a silencer on an AK, and it used to make it
Really?
feel proper
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, like really just soften it down a bit. Still had the power of an AK, which made it a bit easier to control. And I think that that is how the M4S feels, isn't it? It
Oh
just
yeah.
feels
Stop
so.
it.
Oh god, look at us go.
The USP is my favorite gun as well. Like, but no, it's the recoil. It's got to be the recoil, and it just feels ridiculous.
it's
Feels
not.
silly.
It's just not worth it for the extra bullets. Still,
For me, not at the minute. Even though the headshot thing does really piss me off. Um,
mm.
but yeah, maybe I'll get used to it. Maybe MP9
The
normal
MP9
one.
thing was just the crouching accuracy got decreased. No,
Yeah, they decreased the crouching accuracy.
I
Oh,
mean,
calm down, Valve.
when are we crouching with an MP9? It's just running
Yeah,
in
I
there.
mean, yeah, I mean, at long
Just,
distance you might.
yeah, but even then,
When it's one of those moments, isn't it, where it's like they've walked past you and they've not seen you yet, or something.
yeah,
You've got like a free shot. That's it. Always like very rare occasion you would do that.
I can't
Um,
see that as a real nerf to the MP9 though. I just think you're still going to use an MP9. I
do you
think.
think the MP9 is overpowered?
I don't think it's overpowered. I think it fits really nicely into the way it should be. If you've got enough money, you're buying an M4. If you haven't, if you can, you know,
I think it's a little bit overpowered.
I don't know. I like it, man. I
But
think,
you're not,
but
yeah, but you're not questioning anything else for a mid buy, are you?
no, but
Like, if you've not got
yeah.
much money, you're like, MP9 feels so good for what it is. I think it's just maybe a little bit too fast, the bullets.
So you need some competition in that kind of mid buy round, like.
I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make like shotguns and things a bit more viable, but they need
Well,
to
the
make them
auto
better.
shotty is still actually very
Yeah, it is.
viable.
It is good.
It's
Good.
just cringe, so no one
Doesn't
plays
get
it.
used. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just fucking gimpy, isn't it? I still think I'll play the MP9 a lot, like on CT. I don't.
FAMAS needs more of a buff still, right?
I agree. I think. Do you know what? Until they get that burst fire back to like, I think in any game like this, you need some form of okay burst. Like the Glock burst is gone, like no such thing. So like we might as well have had the FAMAS Glock burst be like
Burst.
actually slightly like they need to make it on level with like the AUG and the SG in terms of like how often you pick that up or like use that. Like it's almost like I don't know
The FAMAS is so far behind the
everything.
Galil.
Yeah,
Like, it's just a joke. Like, the Galils are actually good gun.
yeah.
And CounterStrike at the minute is quite T-sided. And I genuinely believe it's just down to
The
one,
weapons are
finance.
util.
Finance in general, and AK is just such a good gun. And the
And
Galil's much better as well.
the Glill's much better, and the Glock doesn't feel that bad anymore. So even in pistol rounds, you're kind
That's
of
true.
because you always had the USB would just dominate, really, didn't it? And so now, even out like when you get a kill with a Glock, it's more satisfactory than a USB. I feel so. It's almost like the T's have just got everything going for them.
Yeah. The one thing I would like, just on the topic of guns, I don't know if you feel like this. The AWP for me doesn't fit, or not necessarily for me. I don't want to talk just for myself, but watching the game doesn't feel as sexy as it used to. Like
Well,
when I'm watching players with the AWP, I mean, you get them now and again. You get them on a flicks and whatnot. It just doesn't feel as nice. Is that because Simple's not in the game anymore, or what?
well, I was about to say it's. I think that's because of the personnel, but I wasn't going to say simple. I was going to say because Donk makes rifling look so fucking sexy. When you see an AWP, you're like, oh, cool.
A lot of AWP shots I see though also just they look like they hit, but they don't get the kill. I see that a lot.
I was just saw that in the Phase Vitality game. I swear, Broku hit. Like,
Yeah, I saw that as well.
long A.
Was it long A?
It looked like it hit him. And
Could
then
have been.
nothing happens, and then they're like, "Oh, Brogy's got a slow start," and it's like, don't know. I'd be pissed off.
Oh
if I
yeah,
was-
yeah. Where he peeked doors.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it feels like when I'm watching it, the people are hitting these AWP shots. They could be moving. It could be moving in accuracy or something, but Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't feel as nice. Although the device round, I don't know if you saw the highlight of
I didn't.
device. It was to win a game against someone I can't remember on Inferno, and his last shot was a deagle headshot, but he got a few nice AWP shots before that. But
But
yeah, it just
you
feels
still
like
remember the deagle over the AWP shots.
yeah. There you go. I mean,
Yeah.
deagle shots have got to be some of the best in the game though. Deagle headshots.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I think it's a fair comment. I think this game's just not suited to AWPs anymore. As much, sorry, not anymore. Not full stops, delete AWPs, but not as they're not as scary. Even when we're playing Face It, whatever, like you're just not as like you actually like. I might actually peek this. I have a go.
That's
Especially,
why I peak it.
yeah, especially with we were talking about this again just when we're talking Jenny during the week. My go-to on Mirage is now, and I was doing it earlier today, to get the SG gun. I don't know what's the full name, SG whatever, on T round and peek window against their AWP with it, and it's actually surprisingly effective actually to peek.
Yeah, you're one of those guys that like that can do that.
Yeah, it's a bit stupid, but it's I bet it winds them up, like I can
Yeah.
imagine. And I actually think the SG is an underrated gun, and I'm going to use it a lot more. And I was surprised to see, again, when someone in Reddit did the stats of the accuracy and all this. I think the FAMAS is still worse. Not as that is like behind that SG org in terms of like accuracy or crouch accuracy, which it needs to be right up there. Like I think for it needs to be pretty accurate if you keep the rate of fire the same and maybe the damage and stuff, but the accuracy I think should be up there for a gun like the FAMAS. You know, like those cheap guns, they should be pretty accurate, not do much damage, but easy to control. So yeah, I think the FAMAS needs work, man. I think the MP9 just don't touch now.
Do you think? I think they should change the way the FAMAS looks as well.
It is a gimpy gun, isn't it? It is a bit just like it's not
Looks like a handbag.
Yeah, it's not that sexy.
No, yeah, it's shit.
All right,
Okay.
there you go. So what
Yeah,
would
get
change? Still make FAMAS better, including burst. I would like it to be burst, like proper good burst. Do you remember how good it felt on Condition Zero to use burst for FAMAS? It was actually a bit broken.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But whenever if someone got a headshot with it, I'd be like, yeah, it's because you shit. You obviously weren't aiming at the head. Because it would never go. It wouldn't go
aim
where
at the shoulder.
Aimed. Yeah, aim just.
Mate, that's
aim
why I
at
want
their
to bring
left
it back.
ear.
That's when I bring it back. Okay, let's go. We'll touch briefly. Oh, the one thing I did want to say, actually, while I was talking about actually us just playing the game, okay? I played some Face It, and I got back up to Face It level 6, which I know, those listening, it's not anything to write home about. Remember, we're the casuals, we have families and, lives. We don't have time to grind. And instantly, from going from 5 to 6, my first game in level 6, even though I've been in level 6, I was like one win off level 7 before, so I've got deep into the Face It 6. I was Face It 5, I was like just owning, like proper, just like flicking. Got my first game in Face It level 6. I was just like felt complete pressure. And I was like worried to do anything wrong, to the point where you just start making stupid decisions, like just standing out in the open. I was just standing out in the open. I was like, I wasn't doing this the game before, but it's just because instantly I knew I was in Face It 6, which I thought was really interesting. And I just been thinking about it a lot, that even at our levels, like the step up in competition or moving from, I guess the equivalent of the pros would be from LAN, from online to like a LAN in an arena or something. Like the pressure just got to me, which also doesn't happen that often for me, really. Like that sounds weird, but usually I'm okay in pressured situations. But as soon as I got to Face It 6, I was like, fuck. I just felt, and now I'm back to 5 because I just kept doing stupid shit. I lasted 2 games and I was so bad to the point where.
Did you have a bad rating? Because you're pretty consistent with good ratings.
My ratings weren't that bad, but I kept standing out in the open. Like literally just standing there, like I don't know, I just panicked. I'll just
like
stand here and shoot. Bah, bah,
like
bah, bah.
a deer in headlights.
Yeah, it felt really weird, and anyway. So that was a bit of a experience for me. Just played my first Premier game of season 2 as well, and mate, Premier's dog shit. Just had a troll, straight away troll, like using a negev, hiding in spawns, and we had to just kick him. And we lost like 13-4. So probably just go back to face it straight away. Not bother with Premier. Anyway, let's move on to the first proper event of the year. We say proper, I don't know, and it might feel a bit outdated, but again, we've been away. Blast Bounty. Did we like Blast Bounty? Everyone seems to like the way it worked with this bounty stuff. It was kind of cool. I mean,
yeah. Go on. How do you feel about
I
this?
think it's cool. Yeah, I think I like. I mean, I didn't quite fully engage with the process. I didn't quite track, like, they bet this, so they not putting as much emphasis on it. But I'm just trusting. So I'm just trusting that happened, and that people really did put money on the line and took some risks here and there, which can only mean it probably did mean a bit more in certain games and was a bit exciting. And why not, man? It's something different, isn't it? I guess it's the normal bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, go for it. Why not? Let's try it. Spirit ended up winning
Well,
$288,125.
yeah, which I guess what would that normally be, like 250 would be the top one for something like this. So interestingly, I guess that's because of the betting or the bounties or whatever they were doing. So that's kind of, I don't know, feels kind of cool. Maybe not. Eternal Fire got to the final, but obviously, they got dominated by Spirit. So my question about this, okay, yeah,
Go on.
and is this just gonna be Spirit? Like, is this Spirit era again? Like, we just
Right. My takeaways from Blast was first look at G2, how are they going to get on? And well, first look at pretty much everyone. Heroic, obviously a new team. Vitality with Robson, the rest of them, or G2 new team. The rest of them kind of the same teams. Eternal Fire still looking really good. They ended last year really good. Still looking good. Spirit still looking amazing. Navi still looking good. I did make a bold prediction about Navi that they weren't going to win a tournament this year, which I'll get to. I'll get to later in the podcast. Actually, G2 looking okay-ish, maybe not as good as they were before, and Heroic didn't look too great, but they did play against Spirit, so we couldn't say too much. But that was my opinion when Blast was on. Now we've got Kato, and I've seen all these teams play again. My opinion has changed slightly. Obviously, it's early days to see all these teams playing, right? Because there's been a lot of changes. So, yeah, that was my opinion on Blast. The tournament itself with the bounty and stuff, yeah, kind of same as you. I thought it was okay. Why not? Let's try something a bit different.
yeah.
Is it a little bit pointless? Maybe, but who cares? Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I took away from it was, Spirit are just going to dominate this year. I just can't see how they can't. Like, they're just going to win.
Well, I had
so
this feeling
much.
when Donk first came on the scene. I kind of felt the same way, and they're not unstoppable, really. Like we know Donk can have an off game. Shiro can definitely have an off game.
Shiro's more likely than Donk, yeah.
Yeah, Zontix, Magic, and Chopper can all have bad games. So I was at a point where I was like, was it what did they win when they first came on the scene and Donk was it Kato last year? His first big event.
Yeah, Kato or Cologne, I can't remember exactly. One of them, and they won it. Or was it Kato? Because they won Kato last year.
Yeah, and I was like, these guys are just going to dominate everyone. Like, I can't see them losing. So I was the same as you are now. Like I can't see them losing, which they do look fantastic.
Our Eternal Fire, I feel like Eternal Fire did this last year and the year before. Like Eternal Fire just have these like little runs or 2 or 3 event runs where they're like in the final get really deep and everyone's like, finally, Centauros is gonna get the respect he deserves and win, and then like they just never win. So,
Yeah.
they just don't win. This just feels like they're just doing the same thing again. Like how?
Well, we might as well, since we're kind of on the topic of these teams and we're talking about them in the general kind of terms now. Eternal Fire did pretty well in Blast, and at Kato, been doing well. They just lost against someone though, right? Who did they lose? Oh, they just lost against VP today.
Yeah. Oh.
But VP are kind of
Well,
they 2-0 G2.
yeah.
Like VP back on the scene. Are they trolling us? What's going on?
Electronic finally got the team he can actually IGL, and I don't know. Look, do you know what? Like mate, I don't know. I like Icy. That he's a good player.
Icy's been playing well, but has he been there for a while? Where was he before? Was he?
No, Icy was at Bet Boom with Thingy, wasn't he? No, Cloud9. Sorry, Cloud9 with Boomage.
I just think Cloud9, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Now Boomage is at Bet Boom, which is sick because I love Boomage, don't I? So yeah, VP might be back. Who knows? But as it stands, we were watching the FaZe Vitality game before this, weren't we? That's 12-11 to FaZe.
I have to apologise because I have got it on like in one of my tabs here, so I did just click on
them to see how
they were getting on.
No, don't worry, it's fine. We're a podcast.
So Eternal Fire, I was like, they're doing well. They beat Falcons, right? They smashed Falcons today. Mate, Joe's been playing well. Jota, I've got him on my Jota, whatever you want to call him. I've got him on
your fantasy
team. Yeah, he's been doing well. What are your other standouts for Kato? Because for me, I've had quite a lot. Feel like there's quite a lot I want to say about Kato.
Okay. No, mate. Take it away. I mean,
firstly, like I talked about Navi earlier, and I told everyone we did these predictions in. I think it was our last recording we did.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, Navi, you're not going to win anything this year. They didn't do too great at Blast. Well, they did okay actually. Knocked out by Spirit, but Spirit, I think they had some close games, some close maps. Navi absolutely rolled Furia, like destroyed them. Like they looked so good, and I was like, oh shit, how did I make that prediction? Because Navi looks sick, like really good, and I think Furia have actually been playing okay.
Yeah.
As of late in this playing tournament, they were playing pretty well, and Navi just made them look like some tier 2 team.
Well, Navi got Spirit next though, so you're going to be fine.
Yeah,
because they're going to get.
No, I don't know.
Spirit.
Don't know.
Oh, mate, Spirit.
During the Blast tournament, there was like what was it? Like a double or triple overtime against Spirit last time they played them. So Spirit needs to bring their A game because Navi are looking good.
Fine. Well, you know I'm a Navi lover, I'm JL lover. So if they do, brilliant. But I can't see Spirit not doing it.
Oh mate, FaZe gonna win.
It's
12-11. It's 12-11 to FaZe at the minute. I have to apologise. Carrigan's going through window in.
What's Carrigan? You do some casting.
A little bit.
They cast for us.
Oh, it's Carrigan versus Zyru.
Oh,
Zyru's in the tunnels on 18 HP. Carrigan's at 71.
Guess who's gonna win. I can guess
Carrigan
who's
is confused.
It starts with a Z.
Come on, Carrigan.
Ends with a woo.
Yeah. Overtime it is.
Yeah, that's not surprising, I guess.
Oh, your boy Carrigan letting us down.
Mate, do you know what? Talking of Vitality FaZe, I am loving Apex, man, at the moment. Apex's energy is vibe. He's going ham. Mate, that's how we want it to be. The enthusiasm, the energy, the baiting, like the rage baiting.
Even if he's giving our British Britishness.
That's so funny, man.
For those that don't know, Mezzi's been playing absolute lights out against FaZe today. Been playing well recently, Mezzi. He's another one on my fantasy team. He's sick. And what did Apex say? Ooh, a British player.
Yeah, you
Like a
get
British player is like dicking on you basically.
and Messi's just there like, cheers, mate.
Yeah,
Did you have more opinions on Kata? Sorry, I think I kind of interrupted
yeah,
or
mate.
oververted.
We get a proper look at teams like G2. G2 versus Falcons. We've just had that today as well.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
Hunter versus Nico.
Oh, Monesi versus Nico, yeah.
Yeah, Honesty
Do you know
versus
what?
Nico.
I watched a bit of Dust 2,
Yeah.
and then I watched a bit like the last 3 rounds of the decider Mirage, and afterwards as well. Like I get it because Nico's obviously got such a history with it, but like he's laughing, he's hugging Monesi and that, and I get it because it's family as well with Hunter, but he didn't look that annoyed they lost. And I would have thought you would be not well aggy, but like you'd be frustrated. But he looked just like
I don't know. They were kind of. You've got to remember these guys are doing this every day, and it was an elimination game as well, right?
Oh, are they out? Yeah, they're out. Yeah, they're out.
Yeah, it was elimination game.
No, they're not because they go to the lower semi-finals and they play G2 versus It's the loser of vitality phase, so they're still there. So that's probably why he's not arsing.
Oh, I must have misheard that then, because I saw an interview with.
Mate, do you know what I've just done?
What?
No, I've done. I was looking at G2 for Nico, thinking he's in G2. No, you're right. Falcons are out, so Nico's out. But I'm still thinking Nico's in G2.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you've got to get used to that.
Oh, mate, that's so weird. Yeah, so. Yeah, you're right. He's out. They're out. They're out. Falcons are out.
Hunter and Nico were kind of being interviewed before the game, and I think they were both like, yeah, like either way, whoever goes out, they can kind of support each other, right? So if G2 get knocked out, they can kind of support Nico. If Falcons gets knocked out, Nico said, I'm going to support them. Like I want them to do well. He's
right. Yeah, makes sense, I guess.
Right? And during the game, Miles was like, he must have got a nice kill on Nico or whatever, and he was like, Nico, hello, waving, and Nico kind of laughed it off. So I do think it was pretty good spirits.
I think I prefer Apex's approach, man, of just being like.
Apex has been on one. I think 3D Max really awakened something in Apex.
Where he described it as like a French land, didn't he? Like an old school French land. He just loved it. So
yeah, I think he does all that.
Anyway, fair enough. Right, what else have we got coming up then? So obviously, yeah, the Kato is going to play out. By the time we next do the podcast, it will be over, so we can kind of have a chat about that and that. But there's mate, I feel like there's loads of tournaments. There's that PGL Cluj as well, which is just loads of teams. So yeah, anything else you want to add or talk about, or?
No, I think we've hit everything, and I've like I say, mate, I just need my bed.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I just.
Let's let you get
I
to
need
bed.
to over this jet lag. Hopefully, next episode I won't be so tired.
You've done well. You've done well to show up, mate. That's what all that matters. Half the battle is getting into your car to go to the gym, isn't it? Getting in your gym clothes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening as always. Subscribe, like, follow, all that BS. And we'll see you next week. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. GG's. Cheers, guys.